Breaking news, the Kenyan President William Ruto is planning to make the French soldiers untouchable in Kenya. So Kenya and France, they are planning to sign a new security deal in which all the French soldiers who come to Kenya, they will receive special protection similar to diplomats. Also, Kenya is going to help these soldiers with transport and facilities. So Kenyan President is planning to use the taxpayers' money to make these soldiers as comfortable as possible in Kenya. So these soldiers, they are the ones who are going to train the Kenyan soldiers, and also they are going to share security and intelligence information, just like what they were doing in Senegal before they were kicked out. So Kenyans, they have until 31st December to submit their opinion. What do you think about this? I think this is a bad idea. France has been kicked out in almost all the West African countries because of what they were doing in there. The Niger president, Abdraman Chiani, he accused France of funding terrorism in Sahel state to attack Sahel state. Niger president said that he has all the evidence to show that France is responsible of all the terrorism that is going on in West Africa. Why would Kenya do this?
So William Ruto is to grant French soldiers in Kenya diplomatic immunity. And you know what that means. So these soldiers are in Kenya. So they've done a deal with the soldiers, with the French soldiers in Kenya, and they are going to be provided diplomatic immunity. So people of Kenya, brace yourselves, because these people are something else. They were in the western part of Africa and they were kicked out of the western part of Africa. There are countless women and children who have stories to tell. But William Ruto has decided that he is going to provide them diplomatic immunity. It seems like this guy is flogging Kenyans to the highest bidder or to the lowest bidder. How did we even get here? How did we get here? From the country that fought viciously for their freedom to a person that is just selling whatever he can sell out of Kenyans. So now he is providing foreign militaries diplomatic immunity. Why would they want diplomatic immunity if they aren't up to no good?
Kenya is about to sign a controversial deal with France. Major breaking news. The Kenyan president will be granting a diplomatic immunity to the French soldiers, whereby when they literally arrive in Kenya, they will be untouchable and they will be facilitated with their lavish lifestyle that will be under the taxpayers' money. And let me tell you, according to reports, this particular deal was signed on October 2025, and they will be facilitating joint activities like boosting the defense, whereby they will actually be training the Kenyan military, exercising, and even giving the security to the borders, like countering any terrorism attack that might arise. But here is the twist that has literally brought a controversial tension online, whereby Kenyans are asking, are these Kenyan soldiers being granted the same thing as the foreign troops? Talking of the present troops that are literally in Kenya, the Batuk, the British soldiers have been committing atrocities for decades, and it's turning out there are several cases that are without justice, which this particular British army committed, raping young ladies in Kenya. And this is what Kenya is about to strike again, whereby a lot of Kenyans are saying Kenya doesn't learn from example. Remember, these French troops were kicked out from West Africa, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and even the last troops were kicked out of Senegal. But for your context, just a reminder, France is literally facing a major debt crisis that keeps on increasing per minute, 5,000 euros per second. You won't believe this. So, Kenyans, the ball is on your table. You have to challenge it, because everything by 31st will be approved. I think everything is at the public. So, if everything will be approved by 31st December, by 2026, the French troops will start rolling in Kenya.
Why is the Kenyan government planning to grant French soldiers diplomatic immunity as other countries are expelling France from their country in Africa, other countries in Africa? Kenya is inviting their soldiers to Kenya, and in fact planning to grant them diplomatic immunity. If you don't know what diplomatic immunity is a part of international law. So it states that a person cannot be prosecuted, arrested by the local jurisdiction of their host country. So basically it's some sort of protection. So the reason for this is that they will not get interference in whatever they're doing in the country. So whatever Kenya and France plans to have is called Defense Cooperation Agreement, and it's an agreement that has been tabled in Parliament. So the Parliament is calling you and I, you and me, you and I, and other Kenyans to go and present their views to, I don't know if it's on our website or I've not checked truly, but you're supposed to present your views on this. Is this something you want to be passed or not? So Kenya is going to be sharing military training with these soldiers. I think it's for Kenyan soldiers, and also intelligence sharing. Another thing is they'll be having joint exercises. Well, for diplomatic immunity, there are usually exceptions, but that is now up to you to go and search. Even you go and read something. I cannot come and feed you everything.
Countries zingine zikichuja France, we anaambia nkujeni tu. You know, the crazy thing is that after hizo country wachuja France, ziliomoka. Hao watu waliomoka after kuchuja France, we anaambia wakam tu. Those same countries accuse France of funding terrorists to destabilize their own countries. Ndio maana waliwachuja, waliona watu wanainterfere na politics ya. We anawapatia diplomatic immunity. Tunajua atajaribu kuspin story kusema ati itatusaidia in some way, lakini the truth is probably that he's doing this for a loan. He's probably doing this for money, desperation. Now France themselves wako down bad. They lost areas where they had significant influence and areas where they were getting a lot of valuable resources. Sasa West Africa imekataa, wanaona hata tujaribu East Africa. Alafu fulani anawaambia mkuja alafu mfanye vile mnataka, diplomatic immunity. I keep telling you, having a president is a liability. Follow this page by looking into constitutional amendments to decentralize the power of the presidency, so that when a Western country fails and loses its influence in West Africa, it does not bribe the president of our country with small change, and then he gives them diplomatic immunity. Anapata diplomatic immunity. We don't need such problem.
Today, December 17th, 2025, President Ruto signed a Kenya and France Defense Cooperation Agreement aiming to boost security through joint training and intelligence sharing. However, this pact also raises concerns about immunity for French forces, similar to past issues with British troops in Kenya. For example, British soldiers have faced scrutiny over incidents like the 2012 Agnes Wanjiru murder case and allegations of sexual misconduct. As this new agreement moves forward, there's a growing public debate on balancing enhanced security with safeguarding Kenya's sovereignty.
So guys, sijui kama mnakumbuka floods zenye zilikuwa Maimahio last year. And after the floods happened, the government's PR team ikatuambia, oh, they'll settle the victims, they'll settle the survivors, blah, 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 blah. 20 months later, those people have not yet been settled. Ilikuwa kwa news leo. They have not been settled. Bado wako, wanangengana, they are still refugees. On the other hand, your president is just giving people diplomatic immunity na watu wa nchi yake. Hey, irony. Anapatia ati French soldiers diplomatic immunity. Hawa watu place wako wamefukuzwa for a reason. Lakini wewe, with your charitable heart, you take them in and give them immunity. And the people in your country. Anyway, one time drain the swamp. Kindly follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Follow my backup account. Also, purpose to register as a voter if you haven't. Nani nawapenda sana.
Kenya is set to grant French soldiers diplomatic-style privilege under a new defense cooperation deal. But this time around, the parliament is asking the public to speak up before anything is finalized. According to the local media, the defense cooperation agreement was tabled in the National Assembly in late November. The deal lays out how visiting French forces would operate in Kenya, and this includes logistics, legal protections, and operational guidelines whilst they are on Kenyan soil. The agreement also aims to deepen cooperation between Kenya and France through military training, joint exercises, and intelligence sharing. Supporters say this is going to strengthen security and strategic partnerships, but critics are asking serious questions about sovereignty, accountability, and foreign military presence. Here is the key part. Kenyans and stakeholders have until 31st December this month to submit their views as lawmakers review whether the agreement should be ratified. So the question is simple. Is this a smart security partnership or a dangerous line to cross? I know many Kenyans have heard this, but to those of you who haven't heard this, please share this video, share this information, share this to any Kenyan that you know, because we know as giants of Africa, Kenyans can do something about it. And as they are saying, the parliament is waiting for your views. So if you haven't heard it, this is it, okay? This might not do a lot, but I believe in social media. So if you are watching this and you want good for Kenya and you want good for Africa, please make sure you amplify this so that it will get to our Kenyan brothers and sisters, and we know they will speak up, because this is not a good deal. This is absolutely not a good deal. Knowing very well how France is losing its ties with Africa, they are beginning to regain their ties in Nigeria, in Kenya, and other African countries. So we will leave it here, but we are believing that the Kenyans will go on the street and make sure that this will never happen. Thank you.
Breaking news. Kenya is about to make a move that has a lot of people talking. Kenya is reportedly set to grant French soldiers diplomatic-style privileges under a new defense cooperation deal, and this time, Parliament is asking the public to speak up before anything is finalized. According to local media, the Defense Cooperation Agreement was tabled in the National Assembly in late November. The deal lays out how visiting French forces would operate in Kenya, including logistics, legal protections, and operational guidelines while on Kenyan soil. The agreement also aims to deepen cooperation between Kenya and France through military training, joint exercises, and intelligence sharing. Supporters say it strengthens security and strategic partnerships. Critics are asking serious questions about sovereignty, accountability, and foreign military presence. Here's the key part. Kenyans and stakeholders have until December 31st to submit their views as lawmakers review whether this agreement should be ratified. So the question is simple. Is this a smart security partnership or a dangerous line to cross? That's all for today. Comment your thoughts, share this with others, and follow for more updates.
Nunca la ves, costa.